Hi, I'm Larry Phillips. We can all do our part. Look at what King County and the Friends of the Cedar River Watershed are doing.
This is our home, and just like everyone vacuums and cleans their home, it's part of the bigger home, Mother Earth.
Hi, I'm Kelly Gotch with Field & Stream. Today I'm in Renton, Washington at Kavanaugh Pond, a 44-acre body of water connected to the Cedar River. In the fall, Kavanaugh Pond supports spawning sockeye salmon that traverse the Cedar River bound for Puget Sound. Habitat for these fish is being threatened by invasive plant species that displace beneficial native growth. For this Hero for a Day project, volunteers will be joining the Friends of the Cedar River Watershed in cutting, digging, and hauling vegetation debris to eliminate these invasive species from the area around Kavanaugh Pond so that salmon can have access to the food and shelter they need to thrive.
Friends of the Cedar River Watershed is a nonprofit that focuses on restoration, education, and stewardship programs. You are here today, part of our habitat restoration program.
I'm Tina Miller, and I'm with the King County Parks and Recreation Division. We are partnered with our Friends of the Cedar River Watershed.
Today we have 70 volunteers who have come to remove invasive species, primarily attacking our Himalayan invasive blackberry.
The reason that we get rid of invasive species is they come in and they take over all of our natives. And when that happens, then you don't have any habitat for any of your wildlife.
This is a long, multi-step process, and that is really what us volunteers coming here to the river is all about, getting rid of these invasive species and restoring the thriving riparian zone.
They're going through areas that have been planted in the past, and they were removing any remaining blackberries that were coming through.
We also have a youth group who is on site studying this as a learning laboratory for their Watershed College.
Our goal is to train the best of local high schoolers to understand sustainability issues.
Last year, everyone came around and knocked everything out. But this root, they missed. So now it's growing back off of it.
So it can regenerate just from even a little fragment. This is like a foot long, and a whole new blackberry is coming back.
Man, they're strong roots, aren't they?
Yeah, they just overgrow everything. Gotta get the roots out.
We pulled out, I don't know how many pounds of blackberries. Being able to give back to the environment and help the river is something that I just enjoy.
It's my duty as a person, as a human being, as an animal, to help protect where I live.
I go to Watershed College and we look at data and numbers, but I've never actually had any field experience. You talk about things and analyze problems, but this was the nice shift in gear.
The Puget Sound does start here. We like to say, do you know your watershed address? Our volunteers who live here, we are all drinking the water.
This is our lifeblood. This is the history of the salmon returning to people for the last 9,000 years. So we need to come out here and remember why we need to steward the whole environment.
So let's say you walk into a new grocery store. Somebody decides to bring in parsley. Then eventually, parsley just fills up the produce section because parsley overtakes everything. When parsley overtakes, you don't get all the necessary nutrients, which is what's happening to our ecosystem today.
The reason that we're doing all this is to restore salmon habitat.
Native vegetation, you get low growing, medium growing, tall growing, so you have places for all the birds to nest and feed. When you have vegetation over the water, it drops the right kind of insects into that water for the salmon and the fish.
There used to be 15 feet of blackberry, but we can see with all the work that there's this physical evidence that it's becoming a more vibrant riparian zone, which will help in turn the salmon and just the entire ecosystem become a better place.
The Friends of the Cedar River Watershed are incredible. They always come with wonderful sets of volunteers.
We couldn't do anything without our volunteers.
Personally, I'm not a hero, but I think as a group we are a hero because we are making a big difference.
I have had an absolute blast today, and as my t-shirt says, get dirty, I kind of did.
Today's heroes devoted their time to Kavanaugh Pond and this watershed to benefit fish and to maintain the integrity of a source of drinking water for 1.4 million Washington residents.
Thanks for watching and learning more about the work of these great volunteers. You can help too. Consider joining habitat restoration volunteer activities in your community. Together, we can keep Puget Sound and our ecosystem beautiful and thriving.